the day or the night of the bin Laden raid.
Yeah.
The helicopters crossed the border from Pakistan back into Afghanistan. You've told me once that that was when your job began in some ways that night. You pick up the phone, you call General Kiani, with whom you've had a semi-functional, semi-dysfunctional, but very intense relationship. Tell us about that night and the way you explained that to them.
That was your description of our relationship.
Yes, that was my description of your relationship.
It was, first of all, just that picture, and it is iconic, and I understand. People ask me, well, what was it like? I mean, in particular, the expression on the president's face. I mean, it was unbelievably intense.
At what moment in the raid was that picture taken?
I actually don't know the answer to that. I honestly don't know the answer to that. And people ask me, well, when did you sort of realize what had happened? Clearly, that was at some point during the raid. And I've got a couple dozen people in a sovereign country with the most wanted criminal on earth, and they're not invited, and I got to get them out. So I've got to fly them back out. I've got to get the body not just into Afghanistan, but positively ID it. We did that. Then I've got to put them on a Marine Osprey helicopter, fly him through Pakistani airspace. That takes a couple hours. Get him out to an aircraft carrier, bury him consistent with his religion, and that was hours later. Then we had this debate about, first of all, who's going to talk to Kiani.
Were they drawing straws? I mean, you're drawing straws or something? Yeah.
No.
Everybody knew it was you, right?
No. It got to the point where it's obvious it was going to be me. So I call him. Now I had met with him again. I just chose to do this as part of my how I lead, to engage in that country. In fact, Tony Zinni, who's a friend of mine, said when I was the CNO, he said, "You ever been to Pakistan?" I said, "No." He said, "You need to go." I went once with Deborah to visit my CNO counterpart in April of '06, I think. In April, I mean, the flowers are out. We're in Islamabad. It's nothing but gorgeous time of year, and I'm going to myself, well, this country can't be that bad. Obviously, I didn't have that right, and I was dealing with the Navy, and they actually have a good Navy. But from the time I started to visit Kiani, I made it very clear, and this was when I was working for President Bush. I said, there's not a president of the United States that if they find bin Laden is here or Zawahiri is here, they're coming. And there's nothing that's going to stop them. And that was a very clear understanding he and I had from day one. So when I talked to him...
you talked to him after the Osprey had come back over Pakistan with the body?
Yeah.
Okay,
we were out.
Because everybody was out.
We were out. Yeah, because, I mean, they're scrambling their jets trying to find us. And it was just, we knew enough about it at that point where that danger had passed. And we'd gotten through all those phases, if you will. So I spoke with him, and
do you just call? I mean, do you have an aide call him? Do you have his direct cell? What do you do?
Somebody.
No, I'm just curious. I mean, we don't know the mechanics of how you reach the Army Chief of Staff in Pakistan in the middle of the night to tell him that, oh, by the way, I just killed bin Laden in your country.
You call him at his house, is what you do. Because, but we also
I never knew.
I mean, we knew because we could see what was happening in the media inside Pakistan, that something was going on. They didn't know what it was. I mean, we knew this wasn't going to last long. And in fact, it was. I mean, one of the things that Kiani, and he's a very savvy guy, but he says, please get it out. Get the president to announce it. So at least he had a story of what happened into which he could then figure out how he was going to explain himself. He had the worst week of his military career the week after that, because it was pretty embarrassing to the Pac Mill for lots of reasons. And I'll just tell you the human side of this, it certainly belies belief in many ways, but I can tell you his human reaction on the other end of the phone when I spoke to him that night is he basically didn't know he was there. And there has been.
You believe that?
Huh?
You believe that?
That's the human side. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm conflicted here because although we honestly, now I'm almost 3 years out of office, we honestly had no smoking gun. One, we didn't have a smoking gun. We knew bin Laden was there, which gets back to a pretty courageous decision on the part of the president. And secondly, we have to this day no smoking gun. validates that the ISI in particular was taking care of bin Laden. And I think work is still going on to figure that out.
But Kiani was surprised.
He acted surprised.